9th. May we have roll call, please?
Jeff Stevens. Here. Bruce Johnson.
Here.
Bill Conley. Here. Bo Shepherd.
Here.
Mark Boomgarden.
Here.
Gary Marler. Here. Drew Stresser. Here. Jeremy Chapdelaine.
Here.
Mike Morris.
Here.
Chris Schmidl.
Here.
Vast Board of Director Jeff Stevens to lead us in the pledge.
Salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Members of the public will be allowed to address the Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency's Board of Directors on items of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Any member of the audience who may wish to bring a matter before the board that has not been placed on the agenda may do so at this time. However, state law provides that no action may be taken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. Any items from the public? Seeing none. Next items, consent calendar. Consent calendar groups together those items which are considered non-controversial or for which prior policy direction has been given to staff and that require only routine action by the board. The chair will advise the audience that the matters may be adopted in total by one motion. However, the board may, at its option or upon request of a member of the public, consider any matters separately. Any matters need to be removed from the consent calendar. Anybody from the public have a comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion on the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the consent calendar has been approved unanimously. Information and possible approval items. Number 3, approval of plans and specifications in consideration of award of the two-door flood risk reduction project construction contract number 2025-01-TFRRP to Nordic Industries Incorporated. And I believe this is Mr. Bissett.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So good afternoon, everybody. Michael Bissett here, Executive Director. So we have very good news. We opened bids last Thursday for this project, and we received 3 bids. And all 3 bids came in under the engineer's estimate. And our low bidder, our qualified contractor low bidder was Nordic Industries. Very excited about that. The bid was for $8,894,230. And essentially, it's $7 million below our engineer's estimate. So it's a really good thing for our agency from a budget perspective. Nordic is excited to get the project and move forward. So we've had several conversations with their president since the bid opened. So we are ready to go. I also wanted to highlight at this time that we also have made really good progress with Army Corps of Engineers for the required 408 approval. We were just notified today that the 408 package left the district and went down to San Francisco for their review, and they've asked for a 14-day turnaround. So it's in line with what the colonel had told us in terms of getting 408 approval at the end of this month and getting a letter of permission issued first week in May. So we're all online. If the board approves the contract today, I'll move forward and work with Nordic Industries, get bonds and insurance, get the contract signed, issue a notice to proceed, and we'll get rolling on this project. So with that said, I'm going to turn it back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Bissett? Any comment from the public? Hearing none, bring it back to the board.
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second for item number 3. All those, let's take roll call, please. Big deal.
Jeff Stevens.
Aye.
Bruce Johnson.
Yes.
Bill Conley. Bo Shepherd. Mark Baumgarten.
Aye.
Gary Marler. Drew Stresser. Jeremy Chapdelaine.
Yes.
Mike Morris.
Yes.
Chris Schmittel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 4, presentation and file monthly financial report. Sean.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This report covers all financials through end of February. I don't think it's working. So the ending working capital through end of February was about 24.5 million. Estimated to date about 28.8 million. Revenue estimated operating revenue we had for the operational fund we had received 750,000 already, which maximizes our budget for that for the year. Capital revenue is about 5.8 million. Estimated revenue, though, is about 11.6 for the capital fund. The difference in actuals to pending revenue then is about 5.8 million. So you see here there's a breakdown of that anticipated revenue between assessments and what we would receive from the state. Total revenues, about 6.5 million. Total estimated revenues, about 12.3 million. Difference in actual to pending revenue then is about 5.8 million, like I mentioned in the last slide. That breakdown, though, you can see, I can't really point it out here, but the bottom of the left-hand side here, capital payments about 3.6 million, and pending assessment revenue, we anticipate about 2.1 million, which we would probably receive sometime in May or June. So paid expenditures through end of February, about 3.7 million. Expenditures to date anticipate about 4.6 million, so about $900,000 difference. We had met our debt service obligations for through April. The payment was made. Next one will be paid in October, just under about 4.4 million. So ongoing activities. With our UFR agreement, we've got about 2.6 million still pending in retention that we are actively seeking out. WCB, CDFW grants for the OWA project, just continuing ongoing. One of our veg planning grant, though, is CDFW. We're under closeout for that, in the process of closeout. RFMP4 to RMP5, there's a transition period here where we're closing out RFMP4 funding. Round 5 was executed, and we're underway with that. CNRA with California National Resources, we had extended the current grant with them for sediment removal to fall of 2025. And then ongoing with our bypass East Levee work. The agency itself, too, sort of upcoming items, work on preparation for annual budget. Next month, we'll present a preliminary budget. Assessment administration, that's ongoing as well for the upcoming fiscal year. And continuing disclosure report, we had just filed with Emma, and find this information here. So it was filed on 3/24 with regard to our debt service. If you go to Emma website and just do a search on Sutter Butte, you'd find all that information there. You can turn it over for any questions.
Any questions? Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thank you. Item number 5, presentation and the file program/project update. Mr. Bissett.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So I'll wait for Tara to get the presentation up. But this is the monthly update for our program and projects. Give the board a timely update on all the moving parts here. So FERLIP 2, the Tudor Flood Risk Reduction Project, we just awarded, actually, if you can go back to that. We just awarded our construction contract, so thank you to the board for that. So we will process those contracts with Nordic and move the project forward. We still got a couple of permits that are required, and we should have those in hand this month. We're looking at wrapping up all of our permits and being ready to start construction in May. The Central Valley Flood Protection Board will issue our encroachment permit at their April board meeting, so later this month.
Through the chair. I'm curious, Mike, what were those, I don't need numbers, but how close were all those bids? I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, you just missed that part when you walked in.
I
So we
know.
had 3 bids.
Okay.
Our engineer's estimate was at 16 million. Forgin came in at 15.8. Odin came in at 11.8, so about 3 million off of the high bid. And then Nordic Industries came in at 8.9, so almost another 3 million less.
Things are slow then. I talked
Yeah.
to all 3 of those guys and everyone mentions how slow everything is right now. So.
Yeah, so that played a huge role, we believe.
And that required a lot of soil too, a lot of dirt, so.
Yep. So we're very, very favorable to the agency. So Nordic Industries, they've done a lot of our work. You know, I would be concerned if I didn't know this contractor, but they've done, a good bulk of the 37 miles of levee repairs that we've had over the past 10 years. So they're ready to do the job. Excuse me. So our encroachment permit will be issued in April. We'll get our letter of permission from the Army Corps in early May, and we'll start construction shortly thereafter. So we're also planning a groundbreaking ceremony. Kim is here. Kim will be working on that. We're looking at the week of May 26th. We're trying to time it when Congressman Lamalfa will be in district. We've talked to Assemblyman James Gallagher. He would like to be there. We're going to invite Colonel Caldwell to be there to be a speaker, and also Central Valley Board President Jane Dolan. So we're going to coordinate with all of those people and hopefully have members of our board at the groundbreaking ceremony. So this will be big. It's the last piece of the Feather River that this agency will take on. So it's exciting. Next slide, please. So that was the exciting news. So the not so exciting news came a day after our bid open, when we found out through the news agencies that the FEMA BRIC program was put on pause by the federal government. And we're trying to figure out exactly what that means. I've been in constant communications with Congressman Lamalfa's office to get a better understanding of what the status is. We're hearing that the BRIC program is going to be totally dismantled. So not just a pause, but maybe a dismantling. So we're trying to find out. So we're doing everything we can through the Congressman's office. We're working with the state, Cal OES and DWR. And there's a lot of regional partners that are also affected by this BRIC program, because there was 2 other agencies that were in line for, considerable funding from the program, that they're not going to be able to build their projects if they don't get that funding. So there's a lot in play right now. I'll continue to work closely with the Congressman's office and communicate with the board as I hear new information. But right now, it's not looking good. So that's the $50 million for that 5-mile Sutter bypass repair that we were targeting for 2027. So now we got to wait and see what's going to happen with that BRIC funding. Also, Calpine they're concerned about funding that they were going to get for their carbon capture project through the Department of Energy. They had a $270 million grant that they were going to receive for that project that they're concerned about also. It's not FEMA BRIC, entirely different department, but there's a concern that may get canceled also. So we're working closely with Calpine also on that project, their project, and ours. So it's all going through the Congressman's office there. So I'll keep the board apprised any changes or new information that I hear. Maybe I'll pause there to see if there's any questions on that topic. Okay, I'll continue. On the City of Orrville levee repair, so we're gearing up for the Army Corps levee safety inspection in May. So that's for the 7th and the 8th. It's a 2-day event. So it's right after the cap-to-cap trip. So I'll be in attendance at that, and so will Chris Fritz. So that's a free one-time levee safety inspection. So it should be they're reviewing a lot of information that we've sent to them. The HDR analysis that was completed in 2015, the hydraulics analysis that Chris's company has done. So they have a lot of information that they're looking at in advance of this inspection in May. So we're looking forward to participating in that. Also, Senator Dolly and Assemblyman James Gallagher put in for a funding request for the City of Orrville project. I believe it was $2.5 million to advance geotechnical investigations through state funding, directed state funding. So we're hoping that they'll be successful to get that funding. And we're still continuing to coordinate with DWR to see what other type of opportunities there may be through the state. On the federal project, the Tudor Road to Cypress Avenue project, that repair has been completed several years now, but we're still in project closeout mode. The project partnership amendment, project partnership agreement amendment for the credit transfer, that is now at headquarters in Washington, D.C. for final approval. And we expect that the district will get that back fairly soon. And then that would go before the Central Valley Flood Protection Board. So it'll be the Sabufka PPA amendment along with Sajafka's PPA amendment to allow for this credit transfer. So we're hoping it goes in May at the May board meeting. It could be pushed out to June, but it's coming very soon. We're also working with the Army Corps on O&M manual updates, and they're doing updates because of their 5-mile project, and we're providing some updated information into the various O&M manuals. So we're coordinating that. We have a meeting set up for later this month to advance that work. Next slide, please. So for Orrville Robinson's Riffle project, so we've completed the planning effort. We are advancing into the $2.1 million CDFW funded design of the the Robinson's Riffle project. We're at about a 30% design level now. We've had a couple of meetings with CDFW, and we'll continue to advance the design. And while we're also looking at pursuing construction funding opportunities through state grants, and we'll be working on that at the same time. On the Thermalito Afterbay boat ramp and campground project, that project continues to advance. We're pretty much at 100% design. We're working with the state, DWR, to do all the various design reviews that they are requiring for this project. Also working on getting all of our permits, and then also working through the Army Corps' 408 review and approval process. So all of that will continue through this year into early next year, anticipating construction to begin in the summer of 2026, so next year. On FEMA remapping of Sutter County, Chris and his team just had a technical meeting with FEMA's consultants to advance the FEMA remapping process. So that process is moving forward. They're not only remapping the Yuba City Basin based on all of the levee work that this agency completed, but they're also looking at mapping the entire county, going from paper maps to digital maps. So they're updating the entire county through that process. So that's probably looking at another 2 to 3 years before FEMA and their consultants get through that process. So I'll continue to keep the board updated. Feather River Side Channel project, haven't heard much lately. I know the team through the Sutter County Resource Conservation District, they're advancing their work. They're doing a lot of data gathering now. We're helping feed geotechnical information about all the levee improvements that this agency made, some hydraulics information, environmental information through all of our work. So all of that is advancing, and we would expect to be in a joint meeting in the next several months. So I'll keep the board apprised there. I also got a call from our previous board member, Wade Kirchner, on what he heard about some tree removal project that's happening, that could be happening in the river area, the water side of the levee within these project limits. So I'm coordinating that also with the Sutter County Resource Conservation District. Lastly, on this slide, I did have make that presentation at the Sutter County Museum on the 28th of last month, so a week or so ago, I guess. There was about 90 people there, so now I know for future public meetings, got to serve beer and wine. That's what really gets the audience out there. So we had a good crowd, a lot of questions were asked. It was a good time, good event. And Mike Morris was there representing the board. Drew was there also. So it was a good event. Next slide, please. So La Nina forecast. So, we're wrapping up our wet season. It's going to start getting warm very soon. So we'll continue to keep an eye on releases out of Orville and New Bullets Bar. But, I think they're making room right now for the upcoming snow melt and receiving those waters from snow melt. So everything's looking good. My anticipation is they'll be, topping off Orville towards the end of the spring run and into early summer. So this will be the last time I have this up for our monthly updates. Our next board meeting's on May 14th, and as Sean indicated, we'll present the preliminary budget at that time. And so it's a two-step process: preliminary budget in May, and then final approval in June. So that's what we're anticipating. Next slide, please. So it's a sad day. Our agency counsel, Andrea Clark, is leaving Downey Brand and leaving our agency to pursue new opportunities. We're going to miss Andrea. She's been a huge part of the success of this agency, and she's done a great job, and I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten from you, Andrea, and I know the board has been very pleased with your work. So we have Brian Hamilton in the audience. So Brian, attorney at Downey Brand, he'll be attending our board meetings in the future. Scott Shapiro, our agency counsel, who's been with us since inception, will continue to participate in our weekly staff meetings and helping guide the agency and moving, resolving issues as we move projects along. And Scott's trying to clear up some of his conflicts with other agencies that he works with, so that he can come back and sit by my side at future meetings. But in the meantime, Brian will be representing us and looking out that we keep things lawful going forward. So with that said, before we turn it to Andrea to make any parting comments, we have a few items that we'd like to present Andrea, and I'm going to handle those duties. So we have a resolution signed by our board chairman that I'm going to read into the record here. And Kim, I wish you would have made this a little bigger font, but that's okay. Okay. Whereas Sabufka was formed in 2007 and in its infancy was represented by the Sutter County Council's office. Whereas in 2008, Sabufka decided to retain independent counsel and interviewed several firms, including Downey Brand and its team of Scott Shapiro and Andrea Clark. Whereas Janet Bender, then a young lawyer in the Sutter County Council's office, wrote to Scott Shapiro and in quotes said, "The ad hoc committee will be recommending to the full board at its March 12th meeting that it chose you and Andrea as general counsel for the agency. I am confident that the committee is making an excellent recommendation and very pleased that it will be with you and Andrea working with the agency. Whereas on March 12, 2008, the Sabufka Board of Directors officially engaged Downey Brand as the agency's general counsel. Whereas from the beginning of Downey Brand's engagement, Andrea has worked to ensure that Sabufka's policies, procedures, and actions followed both the law and best practice. Whereas, in particular, Andrea has shined as agency counsel in such areas as Brown Act compliance, public contracting, compliance with the National Historic Preservation Act, compliance with CEQA, overseeing contract development for staff members, and evaluating conflicts of interest. Whereas, Andrea has worked with each of the agency's executive directors, Bill Edgar, Mike Inamine, and Michael Bassett, and is valued and trusted by them for her wise and helpful counsel. Whereas, although Andrea does not reside within the agency boundaries, she has always represented the agency and the community it serves with the same energy and integrity as if she was working to protect her own home. Whereas, now the agency has resigned itself to working with Scott Shapiro, AKA the B team. With this abandonment, abandonment shall be the single dark mark on Andrea's otherwise flawless record. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Andrea Clark has been an integral part of Sabufka's mission and success to date. Hear, hear. Be it further resolved that the Sabufka Board of Directors extends its deepest appreciation and gratitude to Andrea for her outstanding work and stewardship during her 15-year tenure with the agency. We shall miss her. Congratulations, Andrea. We're going to miss you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Wow. Well, that is unexpected.
Okay, so we also have another gift. So that Andrea will always remember the agency, we've given her the prized Sabufka travel mug.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So that every day in your car as you're traveling from all your environmental restoration meetings, you'll think of us. So congratulations. And then Kim, I believe you might have a little something, right? Oh, you want to do that later? Okay. Okay, so with that said, maybe I'll turn it to you, Mr. Chairman, see if there's comments from the board before we turn it back to Andrea.
Thank you, Mr. Bassett. Obviously, Andrea, you've shepherded us through a lot of good projects and kept us away from bad doings, but I would entertain any comments from the members if they would like. Please.
Sorry, Andrea. I've been here for 15 years, and it's been amazing working with you. You've taken us through so much. I can't even count the number of eminent domain cases that you walked through, and I know it wasn't you personally, but you overseeing us. And really appreciate the work you've done. We're going to miss you and wish you the best. Thank you.
All right. Andrea?
Well, I'll be very brief. Thank you, Michael and board and staff, and Kim in particular. Obviously, the other agency council didn't have an opportunity to review this resolution before the board considered it. Just really briefly, apparently it's been 17 years since we came on as agency council, which is a really long time. But I will say that this is probably one of, if not the best example of efficient and effective local government that I know of. And that's a testament to this board's interest in efficiently staffing the agency, in understanding what the issues are and making decisions on them, and pushing to physically protect this community and its residents. And so I commend the board for its focus on getting things done. I think we all know that not all local government agencies have that focus. So I look forward to continuing to watch the successes and may show up at some public event in the future in support. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your years of service. And one last request is that you make sure and let Brian know that about the candy tradition, please.
Yeah, already done.
All right, thank you. With that, we will need to go into closed session. And typically, we have a conference with, well, not typically, I'll do it, conference with labor negotiator in regards to our executive director. So at this time, we will move into closed session.